Hello and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah.
And I'm Bill, your co-host. We're really excited you're here with us today.
Yes, because in this episode, we're talking about something that every English learner has experienced at some point, forgetting English words.
It's so frustrating, right? You learn a new word today, and then the next day, poof, it's gone.
Exactly. And if you've ever thought, why do I keep forgetting the words I just learned? Then you're not alone, and this episode is for you.
We're going to explore why this happens, what's going on in your brain when you forget, and most importantly, how you can remember words better and keep them in your long-term memory.
Right. We'll also talk about common mistakes language learners make, practical tips to improve memory, and even do a fun little word challenge near the end, so stay tuned.
Grab your notebook, or just sit back and relax. Whether you're walking, driving, or having coffee, this is your time to improve your English skills with us.
Let's dive in. So, Bill, let me ask you, have you ever learned a new English word and then totally blanked on it the next day?
Oh, absolutely. I remember once I was helping a student with the word reluctant. We practiced it together, used it in 3 sentences, even acted it out. And then the next day the student said, "Wait, what does that word mean again?"
That's so common. You know, it happened to me too. When I was learning French, I must have learned the word chaise, which means chair, at least 5 times before it finally stuck.
It's a real thing. And for many learners, it feels frustrating, like, why can't I just remember this? Am I bad at learning languages?
Exactly. And let us just say this clearly. Forgetting is normal. It doesn't mean you're not smart or that you're bad at English.
Right. Your brain is like a filter. It only keeps what it thinks is important. So if you don't use a word often or make it meaningful, your brain might just toss it aside.
And if you're listening to this and nodding your head thinking, yes, that's me, don't worry. You are not alone. And today we're going to help you understand why it happens and how to fix it.
Also, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on a platform where you can leave a comment, we'd love to hear from you. What's one English word you keep forgetting, no matter how many times you learn it?
Yes, tell us. Let's make this interactive. Maybe we'll include some of your answers in a future episode.
All right, now that we've all had a good laugh, and hopefully a little comfort, let's move into the real reasons behind forgetting words, the science of memory.
Let's go there. Okay, let's talk about something super interesting, the science of forgetting, because honestly, once you understand how memory works, it's easier to stop blaming yourself.
Totally. So there's something called the forgetting curve, first discovered by a German psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus in the 1800s.
Yes. Basically, he found that when we learn something new, we start to forget it almost immediately, unless we review it. Like within 1 hour, we forget 50% of what we've learned.
Crazy, right? And after a day or two, we forget up to 80% if we don't review it. That's just how the brain works. It's always deciding, should I keep this information or delete it?
Exactly. And your brain actually deletes information on purpose. It's trying to keep only what's useful. It's not being mean. It's just efficient.
So, if you learn a word like incredible, but never use it, your brain says, you don't need that, and it tosses it out.
But when you use the word in a sentence, hear it in a movie, or read it again in a book, your brain says, this seems important. Let's keep it.
There's also a difference between short-term memory and long-term memory. When you first learn a word, it's in your short-term memory kind of like a notepad.
But if you want to move it into long-term memory, you have to review it, repeat it, and connect it to something meaningful.
Right. Think of it like this. Short-term memory is your brain's desktop, and long-term memory is the hard drive. If you never save the file, it disappears when you shut down.
That's such a good way to put it. So, forgetting isn't failure. It's just your brain doing its job. But there are ways to work with your brain instead of against it.
Yes, and that's what we're going to talk about next. The real, practical reasons why you forget English words, and what you can do about it.
So stay with us. This next part is where it gets really helpful. Now let's dive into the real-life reasons why English learners forget words so quickly. These are super common. So if you recognize yourself in these, don't worry, you're not alone.
Absolutely. Let's break them down one by one and talk about how they affect your learning.
Okay, reason number one, and maybe the biggest one, is not using the word enough in context.
Yes, you might learn the word enthusiastic, but if you don't use it in real sentences, conversations, or hear it often, it just disappears.
That's because your brain remembers meaning through usage, not just memorization. It's like trying to remember a face you only saw once in a crowd.
Exactly. And learners often make the mistake of memorizing a word and thinking, okay, I know this now. But if you don't use it, bam, it's gone.
So the solution here is simple. Use the word, say it aloud. Write a sentence, use it in a message to a friend, or even say it to yourself while cooking.
Make it part of your world. That's how your brain says, hey, this word is important, let's keep it.
All right, number two, rote memorization without connection.
This one is so common. People memorize long vocabulary lists with no emotional or personal connection to the words.
Right, like memorizing 20 food words when you're not even hungry or planning to talk about food. Your brain just doesn't care.
Exactly. But if you learn the word delicious while eating a chocolate cake and say, wow, this is delicious, your brain will hold on to that memory.
So always try to connect the word to an image, feeling, or personal story. Make it meaningful.
Number three, not reviewing what you've learned.
Yes, this goes back to the forgetting curve we talked about earlier. If you don't review, the word will fade fast.
The solution? Use something like spaced repetition. Review the word today, tomorrow, in 3 days, next week.
Apps like Anki or Quizlet use this method, but even just writing the word in a notebook and checking it a few times a week can help.
Consistency is key. Repetition tells your brain, hey, don't delete this.
Number four, trying to learn too many words at the same time.
Yes, some learners think they need to learn 50 words a day to improve fast, but it actually has the opposite effect.
It overloads your brain. You end up forgetting most of them and feeling discouraged.
It's better to learn just 5 to 10 words a day, but really learn them, use them, say them, review them.
Focus on quality, not quantity.
And finally, number 5, stress and pressure.
Yes, when you're nervous or under pressure like in an exam or speaking to a native speaker, your brain can freeze up.
It's like your brain locks the door and says, nope, not now.
So try to stay relaxed, breathe. Remember that forgetting is normal, and you'll get better with time and practice.
Learning English should be a journey, not a race.
So those are the 5 most common reasons why learners forget words, and if you've done any of these things, it's okay. Now you know what's happening and how to fix it.
Coming up next, we'll talk about how to actually remember words better, with some powerful tips and memory tricks.
Let's keep going. All right, now that we've explored the reasons why people forget English words, let's talk about solutions. How can learners actually remember the words they study?
Great question. Let's start with a big one. Use the words. One of the best ways to remember new vocabulary is by using it in real-life speaking, writing, or even thinking in English.
Yes, and that's something many learners skip. They think knowing a word means recognizing it in a book. But really, your brain remembers what you do, not just what you read.
Exactly. Let's say you learn the word frustrated. You'll remember it better if you use it in a sentence like, "I was frustrated when I couldn't find my keys this morning." That emotion anchors the word in your memory.
That leads right into our next tip. Make emotional or personal connections. Your brain is more likely to keep information that feels meaningful to you.
Totally agree. Try to connect each new word to something in your life. Learning excited. Think of a real moment when you felt excited, maybe before a trip or an important meeting. That personal link makes it stick.
I also love using visualization. When you learn a word, create a mental picture. If you're learning storm, imagine thunder, rain, lightning. Really feel it.
That's powerful. And speaking of memory tricks, have you tried mnemonic?
Yes, mnemonics are so fun. You create silly or strange stories to help you remember. For example, for the word bizarre, meaning strange, you could imagine a bizarre zebra wearing sunglasses at a party.
That's perfect. The weirder the better it sticks in your head.
Now, here's a more technical strategy: spaced repetition. Instead of studying a word once and forgetting it, review it several times over days or weeks.
Exactly. There's science behind this. Reviewing after increasing intervals, like today, tomorrow, in 3 days, next week, helps move the word into your long-term memory.
And there are great tools that help with this, like Anki, Memrise, and even Google Sheets, if you like DIY methods.
Another underrated method? Talking to yourself in English. Seriously. Walk around your house and describe what you're doing. I am washing the dishes. I am opening the fridge. You're using basic vocabulary, but reinforcing it naturally.
That's a great point. Speaking to yourself is low pressure and really useful. You're practicing recall, pronunciation, and thinking in English all at once.
One more thing. Read and listen a lot. Input matters. The more you're exposed to English through reading and listening, the more your brain absorbs vocabulary without even trying to memorize it.
It's what we call natural acquisition. Watching movies, listening to podcasts like this one, or reading simple books keeps your vocabulary active.
To sum it up, use words in your daily life. Make personal or emotional connections. Visualize and create stories. Review with spaced repetition. Speak aloud, even to yourself. And get tons of input through reading and listening.
That's a super toolkit for vocabulary retention. The key is to stay consistent and make the process fun and personal.
Exactly. Now that we've shared what to do, let's look at what not to do. The common mistakes learners make when trying to remember words.
You don't want to miss this next part. Stick around. Before we wrap up, let's quickly go over some common mistakes English learners make when trying to remember words. These small habits can actually make learning harder.
Yep. Let's start with one of the biggest. Trying to memorize too many words at once. If you're learning 20 or 30 words in a day, chances are you won't remember most of them.
Exactly. It's better to learn fewer words but really use them. Quality over quantity.
Another mistake is not reviewing. You write the word once in your notebook and never look at it again. That's not learning, that's just writing.
And here's one I see a lot. Only learning the translation. For example, learning that apple in your native language and stopping there.
Right? Instead, you should try to learn what the word sounds like, how to use it in a sentence, and maybe even a picture to go with it.
And finally, don't make the mistake of waiting for the perfect time to speak. You don't need to know 1,000 words to start talking. Use what you know now.
Absolutely. Mistakes are part of learning. What matters is that you keep going.
So, to remember better, avoid cramming, review often, learn words deeply, and start using them early, even if it's just one at a time.
Simple changes, big results.
Now it's your turn to get involved. We're going to do a quick interactive activity to help you remember words more effectively.
Grab a pen and notebook, or just use your phone. We'll guide you through this simple but powerful exercise. Ready?
Step 1. Think of 3 English words you've recently learned but often forget. Write them down.
Now, for each word, write a personal sentence. Make it real. Don't just say, "The cat is black." Say something like, "My neighbor's cat is black and sleeps on my car."
Perfect. Now step 3. Visualize that sentence. Imagine the scene in your mind, colors, people, actions. The more vivid, the better.
Let's take an example. Suppose your word is confused. Your sentence could be, "I was confused when I couldn't find my classroom on the first day." Now picture that moment standing in a hallway, looking at room numbers, feeling lost.
See? You've just made an emotional and visual connection. That's memory magic right there.
Now here's a fun challenge for everyone listening. Send us a voice message or leave a comment with your 3 sentences using new words. We'd love to hear how you're practicing.
And we might even feature your sentences in a future episode. So don't be shy, this is your chance to practice out loud.
Practice equals progress. You've got this.
Coming up next, our final thoughts and a little motivation to keep your English journey strong. Before we say goodbye, we want to leave you with a little motivation because learning English isn't just about memory, it's about mindset.
Absolutely. If you forget a word, it doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're learning. Forgetting is a natural part of the process. Every time you forget and relearn a word, your brain is building stronger connections.
So instead of getting frustrated, get curious. Ask yourself, how can I remember this better next time? That mindset shift turns mistakes into growth.
And be patient with yourself. No one becomes fluent overnight. Even native speakers forget words sometimes. What matters is that you keep showing up.
Remember, progress is not about perfection. It's about consistency. Speak a little every day. Read a little. Listen a little. Over time, you'll be amazed at how much sticks.
We believe in you. You're not just learning words, you're building confidence, opportunity, and a global voice.
Keep going, keep learning, and remember, you're doing better than you think.
Until next time, take care and speak boldly.
Bye, everyone. Before we sign off for real, let's do a quick recap of today's episode and highlight some practical takeaways you can start using right away.
Sure. First, remember that forgetting words is totally normal. It's part of how your brain learns and stores new information.
Right, and some common reasons we forget include not using words enough, stress, and trying to memorize too many words at once.
To improve your memory, use words actively in sentences, make personal connections, visualize and review regularly with spaced repetition.
Also, avoid cramming, only learning translations, or waiting to be perfect before speaking.
And don't forget practice speaking out loud, even to yourself, and surround yourself with English through reading and listening.
So, start small, be consistent, and keep it fun.
You've got a solid plan now. Just take it one word, one sentence, one day at a time.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this helps you remember English words better and boosts your confidence.
See you next time on the English Learning Podcast.
That wraps up today's episode on why you forget English words. We hope you found some useful tips and feel more confident about your English learning journey.
Absolutely. Remember, every step you take is progress, even when it feels slow. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. It really helps us reach more learners like you.
And don't forget to leave a comment or send us your 3 sentences from the interactive segment. We love hearing from you.
Also, follow us on social media for extra tips, updates, and fun challenges.
Thanks so much for spending your time with us. We'll be back soon with more episodes to help you improve your English.
Until then, keep learning, stay positive, and speak boldly.
Bye for now.